Turns out the regime who chanted death to America and death to Israel was gifted death from America and death from Israel.
Yes, Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of War at the Pentagon this morning, holding a press conference with the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Raisin Cain, General Raisin Cain. And the president has been very, very busy over the weekend as well. Well, very good and happy Monday morning to you. The world has changed a lot since we last met on Friday. President Trump pulled the trigger on Iran. And boy, if we pulled the trigger, along with Israel, thousands of sorties. That is a combat flight, combat mission. We've had 4 Americans killed, 5 Americans wounded. We had 3 American F-15 fighter jets shot down over Kuwait by Kuwait because they're not the brightest bulbs in the constellation. These guys, I got it done, and 6 Americans punched out of 3 different F-15 aircraft and were able to parachute to the ground, and looks like one of them might have had a parachute problem, but all 6 Americans survived being shot down by our ally in Kuwait because they're not good at what they do. Very Kuwait. How do you get hundreds and hundreds of years behind the rest of the world? Well, this is part of that. So let me get to, because there is so very much to get to today, and Rashida Tlaib, we should call Rashida Tlaib's office, see if she'd come on our show and explain why she refers to the United States as them and they. Those are our pronouns when it comes to Rashida Tlaib. Not us and we, but they and them. That's how Rashida Tlaib describes the United States and Israel, our allies. Both the U.S. and genocidal Israel doesn't care about the laws. She meant don't care. This is who they are. No, this is who we are. But she doesn't see herself as being part of us or we or the United States of America. She's anti-American, flagrantly so, and she's a Democrat member of the squad in the House of Representatives. Aren't they amazing? So, yeah, and Kuwait eventually admitted. First they said that 3 American fighter jets crashed in Kuwait, and now they're saying they mistakenly shot down 3 U.S. fighter jets, and that thankfully all crew ejected safely. But this is the bobblehead dolls of the Kuwaiti military. Honestly, kind of embarrassing, but they're hard to embarrass. As now 4 U.S. American troops killed in the Iran war and 5 wounded. And this has been going on for more than 48 hours now. Boy, the Ayatollah is dead. At least 40 members of senior leadership dead. It turns out, say, well, who's going to take the Ayatollah's place? Who's going to fill in for the president of Iran, who has also been killed? And also there are reports that old stinky Ahmadinejad was killed in an airstrike, too. The old former president, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. And we always called him Stinky because he's famous for not showering. He was famous for not showering and for smelling very badly. And in Austin, Texas over the weekend, we had a Senegalese, that is a Muslim man from Senegal in West Africa, a Senegalese mass shooter opens fire outside of Austin Bar in Austin, Texas, a Muslim man from Senegal, and you'll never guess what he was wearing. You've probably seen it yourself. Property of Allah sweatshirt. He's got a Property of Allah sweatshirt. When you pull off his sweatshirt underneath, he had an Iranian flag T-shirt. This guy from Senegal. This whole Islamic terror thing is something, but horrifying video shows moment deranged Senegalese mass shooter opens fire outside Austin Bar in Austin, Texas. Horrifying, the New York Post. Horrifying video captures the deadly moment Senegalese immigrant Nadinje Diange. He began firing into a crowd at a packed Austin night spot on Sunday. The chilling footage verified by Fox 7 Austin. The Senegalese can be seen walking on the sidewalk in his gray Property of Allah hoodie before raising his rifle and firing at least a dozen shots. What the beep is going on? Jesus, beeping, beep. What the beep? Videographer exclaims during the carnage. Started about 2 a.m. Hundreds of bar patrons were leaving and heading home at the end of a fun night in Austin, Texas. Smoke can be seen bursting from the barrel of the killer's gun, and as he fires several rounds before he appears to drop to the ground outside of Buford's Backyard Beer Garden, a popular hangout near the University of Texas Austin campus. Now, that's something. At least 2 killed, injured 14. Buford's Backyard Beer Garden. And they say, gee, maybe it's a radical Islamic terror attack. Oh, you think? Yeah, let's not play games here. He's wearing the Property of Allah. He's shooting the place up in defense of Iran because, Senegal, Iran, what's the difference? And then, at least he didn't refer to the United States as they, as the Democrat member of the House of Representatives did, Rashida Tlaib. But with that said, we're in a wild place right now, and President Trump is changing the trajectory of human history, not just in the Middle East, but on planet Earth, because Iran, which has a great and extraordinary and noble history, the Persian history is an extraordinary history, and until the Ayatollahs took over, the mullahs took over, and the Islamic Revolution of 1979, it was a country that was perfectly happy living in harmony with the West. And women worked in jobs, and women went to college, and women dressed like Western women, and Iranians, Persians, functioned in Western Europe and the United States as normal people function before the Islamic Revolution. And if we could return Iran to the pre-Islamic Revolution days, and I think I mentioned here recently that I did run into the son of the Shah of Iran, Reza Pahlavi, the son of the Shah who lives in the United States now. I ran into him a few months ago now at Newsmax and had a great talk with him. He is interested in returning to Iran. I actually met him once decades ago in Santa Barbara, too. And he is here. He's willing to go back. He better have a good security detail, I've got to say. But the Trump administration talking about democracy in Iran, and Iran is not an Arab country. It's the Persian nation, and they're different than the Arabs because of culture and history and language and a lot of things. But let's go to some audio here. Let's go to the President of the United States, President Donald John Trump, who is a consequential president, the likes of which you don't see very often. Ronald Reagan, a very consequential president. Theodore Roosevelt, a very consequential president. Donald Trump, a very, very consequential president. The Trump doctrine, Venezuela, Maduro, grabbing him, going after the drug lords in Mexico and in Venezuela and in the Gulf of America and on and on. But let me get to, and now Iran, the Middle East. He targeted and killed Qasem Soleimani, and now look what's going on. The Ayatollah Khamenei is dead in an airstrike, along with, according to reports, 39 about other senior Iranian government leaders. Decapitation is the word of the day, and the regime has been decapitated. And the president has called on the people of Iran and even the military of Iran to rise up against the regime and take their country back and take their freedom back. More than 90 million people, 92 million people in Iran, and it's 99.5 or 99.6% Muslim. 99.5 or 99.6 Muslim. The nation of Iran, more than 92 million people, and nearly 100% Muslim. It's not hospitable to, let's say, your Jewish brethren or, you're Christian, you're atheist. Here's President Trump. This is President Trump on Saturday when we first learned that the strikes had taken place and were underway. President Trump.
To the members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, the armed forces, and all of the police, I say tonight that you must lay down your weapons and have complete immunity, or, in the alternative, face certain death. So, lay down your arms. You will be treated fairly with total immunity, or you will face certain death.
Twice. I love the certain death twice. It's and I don't know. I'm often reminded of Monty Python, even in serious moments. But you will lay down your arms. You face certain death. It's the bridge of death, the Black Knight. President Trump was and look, when he says it, and you're in Iran, you know that this is not something you can brush off because he's Donald Trump. He's not Joe Biden. Also keep in mind that Barack Obama may still be the number one funder of the Islamic Revolution in the history of the Islamic Revolution. Barack Obama, whose middle name is Hussein, it should be pointed out here, Barack Hussein Obama sent plane loads of cash with pallets of euros, not even American dollars, shrink-wrapped by the billions, and freed up all the money frozen in bank accounts and so on. Barack Obama, number one sponsor of the Islamic Revolution in Iran. The Iranian, the number one state sponsors of terror. And Barack Obama, Hussein. President Trump is not Hussein.
Finally, to the great, proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. Stay sheltered. Don't leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations.
A very, very different proposition than, for example, the Iraq War, where the president has taken out the leadership of the country and has called on the people of Iran, 92 million plus people of Iran, to take back their country and leave it in their hands. And if it turns into a civil war, then it turns into a civil war, but we're not fighting it for them. However, the world's number one state sponsor of terror, I have a list of some of their accomplishments from throughout the years that I want to share with you. These are the bad guys. These guys are like the bad guys in a James Bond movie. They're like Spectre operating from a volcanic island, and they're the bad guys of the world. I mean, again, they're blowing up, they're murdering, they're kidnapping, we've still got Americans that they took ages ago whose bodies they're keeping or whatever. President Trump on Saturday.
For many years, you have asked for America's help, but you never got it. No president was willing to do what I am willing to do tonight. Now you have a president who is giving you what you want. So let's see how you respond. America is backing you with overwhelming strength and devastating force. Now is the time to seize control of your destiny and to unleash the prosperous and glorious future that is close within your reach.
The president also took out effectively the Iranian Navy so that they can't go block the Strait of Hormuz and disrupt even more the global oil markets and so on. But President Trump calling on the people of Iran to get up, get out there, take your country back. We've created the opportunity. The window is here.
This is the moment for action. Do not let it pass. May God bless the brave men and women of America's armed forces. May God bless the United States of America. May God bless you all. Thank you.
To liberate 92 million people, the people of Iran, and put an end to the terror state that has been the Islamic Revolution since 1979. We're already at 2025, a quarter of the way through the next century. And this is all part of the legacy of Jimmy Carter and the Democrats, by the way. Abortion moves fast, and right now some women are being pressured to make irreversible decisions in moments of fear and panic. They're told to act quickly or risk losing support. Many of these women feel they have no other option, of course, but because of you, the women do have an option. At Preborn's network of clinics, a woman receives what the abortion industry would never offer, compassion without pressure. She's given a free ultrasound and space to breathe and caring voices and kind eyes. And more than 80% of the time when a mother sees her baby on a preborn ultrasound, guess what? She chooses life, sees the little person there. This month, Preborn wants to help save 6,800 babies. But it'll take 124 partners saying yes every day. So here's my request to you. Pause your busy day for just a moment and become a yes right now. Just $28 provides one ultrasound. $140 helps 5 mothers to see the life growing inside them. Every dollar helps save a human life, a baby, and shares hope with the women. Donate today. Dial pound 250 and say the keyword baby when prompted. That's pound 250. The keyword is baby. Or go to Al Gore's Amazing Internet and visit preborn.com/plant. That's preborn.com/PLANTE. Yes, sir. Yeah, President Trump, I've got more of the president. I've got Pete Hegseth and Raisin Kane, chairman of the Joint Chiefs press conference at the Pentagon in the 8 a.m. hour this morning. We're at 888-630-9625. We're in a real hot zone right now, boys and girls. Now, the woman that the Democrats wanted to be president of the United States, who's an embarrassment to Western civilization, Kamala Harris, she this weekend came out and made clear that if she were president, she'd be supporting the Ayatollah and the Islamic Revolution and the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps.
I unequivocally oppose this war of choice, and everyone should. And the bottom line, when it comes down to it, is that if we want to stop Donald Trump with this random decision that he has arrived at, then Congress must act, and Congress must act immediately. The American people do not want our sons and daughters to go into this unauthorized war of choice, and I unequivocally oppose it. Thank you.
Thank you. That's it. She unequivocally opposes it, and she is. They support radical Islamic terrorism. They support the jihad. They refer to the United States as they and them rather than us and we, because they're not on our side. Well, the Democrats, they're not friendly to the United States. They think of us as they and them, not as us or we. The Kuwaitis shooting down 3 F-15 fighter jets, 6 Americans bailing out, punching out, ejecting from the F-15E, the Strike Eagles, the fighter jets, and all 6 of our crew members survived. By the way, B-2 bombers out of Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri flew nonstop round trip yesterday. Dropped very significant ordnance on hardened targets. And so on according to we, the United States of America, I don't refer to the United States as they or them like Democrat members of Congress do. We have carried out thousands of sorties, the United States and Israel together. And the B-2 bombers coming in out of Whiteman Air Force Base. I've visited the B-2 bombers at Whiteman Air Force Base many years ago now. Climbed aboard the Spirit of Texas myself into the cockpit, and I went up in a refueling tanker and was aboard the refueling tanker refueling B-2 bombers out of Whiteman Air Force Base. I was down in the bay of the refueling tanker when multiple B-2 bombers came up to get a drink to refuel. And the B-2 bombers went there and back yesterday. The operation, by the way, is called Epic Fury. Epic Fury is the name of the operation. The Democrats are on the side of any enemy of the United States of America, any enemy of Western civilization. They're not on Team America, World Police. And I've got to say, I mentioned this on Friday. I said we've got to keep our eyes peeled over the weekend, Iran. I did a couple of weeks ago, too. So it's not like I really had a crystal ball on this. A couple of weeks ago, I said let's keep our ear to the ground on the Democrats rioting and killing people in the United States and on the United States striking Iran militarily. Well, it has come to pass, and boy, they went in big. I've got to say, they pushed all their chips to the center of the table. The Trump White House and the Hegseth Defense Department. We're all in on this. This is definitely all in. You'd kill the Ayatollah. I don't like to use euphemisms like take out, like, we're gangland fun or something, but killed the Ayatollah and 39 other people in that strike, reportedly, and U.S. intelligence, Israeli airplanes, and big change afoot. And President Trump, again, we don't know how this is not over. Taking out the Ayatollah doesn't mean that Iran has joined the community of civilized nations again, because that hasn't happened yet. But it creates the opportunity, the opening for the 92 million people of Iran to rise up and take their country back from this authoritarian, religious Islamic revolution that has brutalized the 92 million people of Iran since 1979, and to restore Persia to its previous grandeur and glory, which actually existed before the mullahs took over. And now let's go to the Democrats. But we don't know how it's going to come out. Let's face it, we don't know how it's going to come out, and it's a very tricky part of the world. And there's violence breaking out from Austin, Texas, to Iraq. And by the way, Iran is firing missiles at and bombing and military strikes against essentially all of their neighbors, against Kuwait and the UAE and Bahrain and Manama. I've been to Bahrain and Manama in the past, and Saudi Arabia is taking hits. I spent months in Saudi Arabia one time, but it's not all about me. Let's go to the silly Democrats here. Soundbite number 40. Let's go to Democrat Senator Tim Kaine. Hey, the Ayatollah has been taken out. The Islamic Revolution, the number one state sponsors of terror, are on the rocks, and the United States military is in harm's way. Democrat Senator Tim Kaine, what do you have to say?
If you're going to initiate war, you need Congress. This is an illegal war. I have a war powers resolution queued up for vote this week, and I'm encouraging my colleagues to assert the constitutional power vested in the legislative branch.
And I want to have to play the soundbite again of Nancy Pelosi being asked when Barack Obama was attacking Libya for 8 months with U.S. military power. 8 months in a military campaign, he said, would take days and not weeks. And then 8 months in, and the news media completely blacked it out. The American news media blacked it out. They didn't cover it. They didn't demand access to the aircraft carriers, which normally you would do, and bases where sorties are being flown. But the news media, we don't really have a legitimate news media. And it's an illegal war. Then I guess Barack Obama had 8 of those. And where were you, Tim Kaine, you fraud, you charlatan? You're almost as bad as the Reverend Al Charlatan. Adam Schiffless. This guy is, this is an amazing one. Adam Schiffless, who told the world that Donald Trump, he's in on the secret classified briefings, and Donald Trump is a Russian colluder. He's colluding with Russia. And he lied and lied and lied every hour of every day for years. And then the Democrats said, he was in the House of Representatives then, Democrats said, he's such a liar, let's put him in the Senate. So they promoted him in California to the U.S. Senate. Adam Schiffless might as well be a jihadi.
The Ayatollah was a brutal dictator. This is a murderous regime. But at the same time, it posed no imminent threat of attack to the United States. They do not have ballistic missiles capable of hitting the United States.
Yet
there was simply no basis to go in with this massive military campaign.
Yeah, they don't have the ability with their ballistic missiles to hit the United States yet. They can hit most of Western Europe with their ballistic missiles, which Barack Obama funded. The Democrats funded the Ayatollah and the mullahs and the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Barack Obama gave them billions and billions and billions of dollars. And in this ridiculously named Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, which they even more absurdly call the JCPOA, as though that's a good abbreviation. And they, Barack Obama and the Democrats gave billions and billions, plane loads, freight pallets, shrink-wrapped piles of cash that would fill this radio studio. And Barack Obama gave them the money and said, here, do what you will with this, because Barack Obama's on the side of the Islamic Revolution. He is not on the side of the United States of America. Adam Schiff, there's no imminent threat. Their ballistic missiles can't, you can take a nuclear weapon. You can even take a dirty bomb and bring it into Washington, D.C. or New York City or Beverly Hills and detonate these things. You can use biological weapons, and kill millions of people. But the Democrat Iran wasn't a threat because their ballistic missiles, funded at least in part by the Democrat Party, couldn't yet reach, they can reach Western Europe, but couldn't yet reach the United States of America. And, sure, you can enrich uranium in secret underground facilities, Barack Obama said in the JCPOA. You can continue. And with, remember, Boltneck, John Kerry, was our ridiculous clown of a negotiator there. Oh, you want to keep extending the range of your ballistic missiles until they're ICBMs? Absolutely. Here's a plane load of cash. And you want to spin centrifuges and enrich uranium? Oh, that's fine. We know it's for peaceful purposes. You're one of the most oil-rich countries in the world. But you really need nuclear energy. President Trump actually offered the Iranians last week. He said, all right, you want to enrich uranium for nuclear energy, right, even though you're an oil-rich country. President Trump said, okay, here's the deal. You guys stop enriching uranium, and we will give you the low-enriched uranium that can be used in nuclear power plants to produce energy for you, and we will give you that nuclear energy, that low-enriched uranium for nuclear power plants. We, the United States of America, will give it to you for free in perpetuity. And for Democrats, that means forever. So we'll give you the low-enriched uranium that is used in nuclear power plants. We will give it to you forever if you just agree to stop enriching uranium. And they said, no, because we're enriching uranium to make nuclear bombs to kill the infidels with in nuclear attacks. And the Democrats said, okay, how can we help? That's literally what happened. All right, now, so that's Adam Schiff, one of the biggest liars in America. Tim Kaine, just a low IQ Irish drunk, I think. Yeah, there's illegal war. Yeah, okay, double standard boy. You're a clown. And then there's Eric Swalwell, who, in case you want to know what China thinks about where we are right now, ask Eric Swalwell. And this is the Democrat Party. And again, Senator Kaine, Senator Schiff, disgraceful. Eric Swalwell, House of Representatives.
They showed nothing to the American people as to any threat posed to the United States or any imminent threat posed to our allies who are in the region.
Yeah, or imminent. Yeah, Iran is no threat to anyone, right? But what possible threat could Iran be to anyone? They're just the number one state sponsor of terror. And they were born of a war crime by attacking the U.S. Embassy. Let me see. It was November 4th of 1979. I remember it well. One of my brother's birthdays, November 4th, often election day. And they attacked the U.S. Embassy November 4th, 1979. And they held hostages. In the end, they were still holding 52 hostages 444 days later until January 20th of 1981, when Ronald Wilson Reagan was inaugurated as President of the United States. And that's when they said, maybe we should let these 52 American hostages go because Ronald Reagan is not to be messed with. And so they let him go. And here's Eric Swalwell, a Chinese agent. Fang is his girlfriend and his operator, by the way. showed nothing to the American people. They're not a threat. The Democrats are literally saying Iran, the world's number one state sponsor of terror, of radical Islamic terror, not a threat, didn't pose a threat. That's what they're saying. They're the PR firm in the West for terrorists of radical Islam. Aren't they amazing? Chris Murphy is another dumb Democrat, drunk member of the Senate.
Nobody in this country is asking for war with Iran. This president is getting us involved in quagmires overseas that already are becoming deadly to American soldiers. This is a disaster. It is illegal. And the president is obligated under the Constitution to come to Congress and ask for an authorization of military force. He wouldn't get that authorization if he asked for it. Congress wouldn't vote to give him the permission to do it, but he's obligated to come to Congress.
Well, the Democrats would undermine the United States, and they would support the Islamic Revolution in Tehran. Yeah, they don't pose a threat to the United States, and they. Now, I mean, the people at AIPAC put together a list. I went searching, as I'm always reminded. The Iranians bombed the Jewish center in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Right? Why would they do that? Just amazing. These people in 1994, they truck bomb exploded the Argentine Mutual Israelite Association Jewish Community Center building in Buenos Aires, killing 85 people in 1994 because these people couldn't sleep at night in Iran, knowing that there were Jews playing ping pong and shooting pool at a rec center in Buenos Aires. So they went there and blew it up and killed 85 people, murdered 85 people, because that's what the government does. And the Democrats are quick to defend that government. Isn't that amazing? Kamala Harris came out and attacked President Trump. So it's Trump's war of choice. And again, like Iran is no threat to anybody. Jasmine Crockett is a Democrat hero. They all want to date her, and they want their daughters to date her. They want their sons to date her. They want their sons to dress like her. The Democrat Party is not on our team.
The one thing that I want to remind the American people of is that we have a Constitution. And frankly, as members of Congress, we swore an oath to the Constitution as well as the president. And right now, what we are clearly witnessing is lawlessness yet again from this administration. And my question to my colleagues in a very serious way is, will you put aside your loyalty to this orange man and actually focus on your loyalty and your oath to the Constitution, which says that only Congress has the power to declare war? It is time to rein him in a bipartisan way.
Bipartisan way. Orange man. We have swore. Didn't she say we have swore? I think I heard her say we have swore. We have swore an oath to the Constitution. Iran, since 1979, the 444 days. It goes on and on. July 22nd of 1980, Iranian operatives assassinated former Iranian diplomat Ali Akbar Tabatabai, and I'm mangling the last name, a vocal critic of then Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini. They murdered him in Bethesda, Maryland. I can drive a golf ball to Bethesda, Maryland from where I'm sitting in this studio right now. But they assassinated him in Bethesda, Maryland. In May 25th, it was May of 1982, Hezbollah terrorists detonated a car bomb at the French embassy compound in Beirut, killing 12 people, wounding 27. April 18th, 1983, Hezbollah suicide bombing, U.S. embassy in Beirut, killed 63 people, including 17 Americans. October 23rd of 1983, 2 Hezbollah truck bombs struck buildings in Beirut, housed the American and French service members, the multinational peacekeeping force in Lebanon, right? And killed 241 Marines, killed 58 French military personnel. And I haven't gotten past 1983. December 12th, my birthday, 1983. Additional 5 bombings in Kuwait. Separate bombings attacked U.S., French embassies in Kuwait. This is the terrorist group, and a Jewish center in Buenos Aires. Years and years later, these are suicidal, homicidal, genocidal death cult And the Democrat Party is out here because Orange Man, they have joined the jihad. The Democrat Party is pro-jihad against the U.S. and Israel and against Western civilization.
Members of Congress, we have sworn an oath.
I've got more President Trump. I haven't even gotten through the got to get to the briefing at the Pentagon this morning with the Secretary and the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs. I want to get to that. And media and Democrats, but I repeat myself. Right now, let's go to, let's go to the phones. Let's go to Steve calling from Northwest Indiana. Stephen, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
You know, you hang on the line here, and so many things come to your mind as you're waiting. Mm-hmm. My original call was for the Obama connection to the drones, but before I do that, I want to say I recently watched a documentary about James Cagney, and there was at the end of the thing there was a little awards ceremony or something that they broadcast on TV, but they were panning a crowd, and Ronald Reagan was sitting there in the audience. But anyways, he said, "I just want to make one thing clear. I never said you dirty rats." And I was thinking in the State of the Union, if Trump would have looked over it when he looked at the Democrats and says, "Oh, you won't stand up for that either," or whatever he said. He should have said at you dirty rats. That would have been great.
Cagney, well, I said, I know you had a second thing to get to, but we ran out the clock because, the time marches on and all that stuff. But, yeah, the great James Cagney, the great Ronald Reagan, and Obama. Obama fueled the beast. He fueled the animal, the Iranian. I've got a lot more coming up. Iran was very active killing Americans in Iraq and wounding Americans in Iraq and IEDs. More coming up.